Hello and welcome to You Are Human, a show attempting to decode human potential and possibilities by bringing you real stories, real heroes. It is often said that we are the product of our circumstances. My today's guest is proving the saying wrong because she believes it is not the circumstances, but it is your own mind, your own will, and your own choices that define your present and your future. My today's guest is India's first visually impaired aerobics instructor. She's already written 2 books. She has her own nonprofit organization called the Silver Lining. She has been awarded with the National Award, the Rajiv Gandhi Manav Seva Award, Red and White Bravery Award, and a lot more. If I start to list them here, I think we will need 20 to 30 minutes just for that. Please welcome my today's guest, Preeti Monga.
Hi. Uh, what should I say? I'm so delighted to be on this show, and such a beautiful day today, and such a beautiful start to it. And I've been looking forward to this. I think for a long time since we have spoke. And thank you so much for having me over here. So hello and good day to everybody that is listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am. And even today, here where I am in Oman, the day is extremely beautiful. So we are having the Eid holidays, and it's been raining for the past 2 days. And it's beautiful, cloudy. Usually it's really humid, hot summer. And today it's just so cloudy. It's so beautiful. And I think we were destined to have this conversation on this beautiful day as well.
Sure. We don't have rain at all. But it is a beautiful day. It's not that humid and it's beautiful.
That's amazing. How are you doing, Preeti ma'am? Are you okay?
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely as good as can be for this moment.
That's amazing. That's amazing how you said in this moment, because sometimes
Yeah.
we forget to feel what we're feeling in the moment. Rather, instead, what we do is we bring the baggage of what happened yesterday or 5 years ago or 10 years back, rather than just living the current moment.
Yeah. Most difficult task to do to live in the present moment. We are either, as you said, carrying this huge load of baggage of yesterday's or even 10 minutes back, or we are just focused on what is going to be tomorrow, day after, 5 years, 20 years, what is going to be after 50 years, we are living there. But what we have, we just don't know what we are missing. We are missing the most beautiful thing, which is the now and here. And it's very, very tough. Let me tell you, it's easier said than done. Takes a lot of practice. In fact, takes a lot of reminding. That's all.
Yes, yes, 100%. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of reminding. We have to keep
Yeah.
reminding ourselves. Yes. Until it
Absolutely.
becomes a way of life. And sometimes,
Yeah.
even if it becomes a way of life, still we need those constant reminders, or, we have to relearn
Mm.
those things. Yes, to
Yeah,
sustain.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. It's not only relearn, it's actually, unless we practice and we feel that, I'm still alive. Here I
Yes.
am. Wow. After
Yes.
all these challenges that we've been through. But, that is something that we forget to remind ourselves. And it's like a drug, thinking of yesterday, thinking of tomorrow is like it's an addiction, which most of us don't even know we have. And we can't even go to a de-addiction center for that because we think that's the way it is. But believe you me, those are the drugs, the past and the future are drugs that actually drag us away from ourselves and away from what we have got, the bounty that we have.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me that perspective. I mean, 100%, that is so true. There are so many of us, we are just constantly consumed by our past and consumed by the anticipation of the future. We think about that this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to look like, this is what I'm going to do. Whereas we don't focus on the present, and this is also an addiction.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
And you
Yeah.
enjoy thinking that, you get sucked out of your present moment. It's that mind which tricks you into enjoying all of that. And is so tough, let me tell you. I mean, I'm just speaking out of pure self experience, but a few lines I have, imbibed from all the teachers and gurus and Guru Granth Sahib, that the only moment is now to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah. No,
So I'm trying to.
100%.
I'm also trying, but I'm getting better. Let me assure you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And as they say, life is a journey and we keep learning, we keep evolving. So that's great. Preeti
Hmm.
ma'am, as in my introduction, I mentioned that, you are somebody that who has proved that you're not the result or the product of your circumstances, but it is your own thinking and your choices that actually define you. And that's what you have made out of your life. Now, it wouldn't be wrong if I said that life has not thrown a lemon at you, but has thrown bags of lemons at you one after the other. After India
Absolutely.
has gone through the excessive rate of lemons, but this was back in the days that happened to Preeti ma'am. What you have actually done is you have, as they say, when life throws a lemon, you make something out of it. There's a line which, yeah. So what you have done is that you have sliced them, squeezed them, and made them into these variety of healthy drinks, which are healthy not just for you, but also for the society, because there's so much
Right.
that you do for people around you and for the society and inspiring so many people, which are it's a continuous cycle, that you have given birth to. So from becoming the first visually impaired aerobics instructor, writing books, to setting up your own NGO, you're an entrepreneur, and so much more. I am in absolute awe of what
Oh no.
you are. And my first question to you is, what are you made up of? Like what are the ingredients? I know we're all made up of the Panch Mahabhut. I know
हाँ,
as per the
हाँ,
Vedic philosophy, we're all made of the same
हाँ,
ingredients. But
yeah.
ऐसा क्या है आप में? What is it that you have that this is how you're living your life?
Well, I really won't be able to pinpoint something, but probably along the line, I was a very, very well loved child. Let me tell you, I owe a lot of this to my father and to my mother, and they loved me to the point that I've never had even one angry word from them till I grew up. So that was one very interesting thing. And I was a good girl. Let me also tell you, I was not naughty, but I did my own stuff. But I think, having said that, uh, that can make somebody very oversensitive. So that's how I had become very oversensitive. And whatever happened, if anything negative happened in my life, it would go, really break me down. So probably too many lemons. When I had those too many lemons along the line, if we may just call those lemons, um, I had a choice either to give up, and lemons started coming in my life very early in life. So either I could give up and sit and cry and waste my life, or I needed to get up and do something about it. So scriptures, my uh, parents, teaching, all of that. I think all those masalas, if I may call them, got into me and taught me the values of life, that you need to move on. You are here for a purpose. You need to move on with life. And one very basic thing, never give up, no matter what, never give up. So I think I'm made of that.
That's amazing. I think parents play such an incredible role in shaping our
True.
lives, and the way you are giving the credit to your upbringing, to your parents, and also accepting the fact that yes, you were a good kid as well. I think even even for me, a lot in my life, if any good comes my way, I would again credit it to my parents, because the amount of strength that they give me, the amount of encouragement that they give me, the kind of learnings that they've given. Of course, there are a lot of things that I do which they wouldn't be happy with, and those are purely my choices. It's not something to do with their teachings, but I know what you mean, that how important
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
the contribution of a parent. Now, when you
Yeah.
said that, yes, there were moments that you did break, there were moments when, it was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's your upbringing, it's your surroundings and the people around you, and the mantras, or the learnings, the teachings that
Mhm.
kept you going. But still, like, how did you
Mhm.
see it?
Mhm.
your own mind, because most of the time the challenge is not external. Of course, in your case there were a lot of external challenges, but it is
as
internal.
well.
Now, do you remember any of those internal battles, and how did you fight through it and sail through them?
Yeah. And the battles, my battle started very early in life. The moment I want to mention this because this may answer your question. It's not an easy question, and there's no easy answer to this. But I was very, very little. I was 7, 8 year old when my parents did discover that I have, I'm going to be blind for the rest of my life. And incidentally, they did not mention that to me in so many words. But and so I just continued to go on with my life, thinking that one has to keep going to the doctor, and people keep peering into your eyes and poking you, which I didn't like very much. But somehow the attitude of my friends, attitude of the people around me, a lot of people around me actually started changing towards me, which was very early in life. And I used to come back crying to my mom. So my mother would say, okay, never mind, we'll fix that. So she would go out and tell, whoever sort of upset me or changed their attitude towards me or wouldn't play properly with me or tease me, she would just say that, look, she's also your friend. Come on, you have to be friends. And she never mentioned that, oh, there's something wrong with her. So, that probably laid the foundation of putting into my head that there's nothing wrong with me. That is something very important that um, I started to build in this process. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm who I am. And of course, getting thrown out of school, then falling completely into depression. But then always there was, uh, somewhere from my environment, I can't even pinpoint where, but there was always a wish that, okay, if I can't do this, maybe I can do this better. For example, if I cannot study, maybe I can become a world class musician, which of course never happened. But but it gave me the clutch. I always kind of found that clutch, looked for that clutch that could help me uh, leave the huge negatives behind. And I would just focus on that one clutch and then just walk with that. And then slowly I would find that I was falling, although came away from those negatives, but fell into the next one. And I applied the same methodology. For example, this music thing did not work out. So I was really, really put off and completely by the time I was, in my late 1920, I was 20. And then I thought my life is over. And then I suddenly remembered the story of Helen Keller, who is even today my inspiration. And I felt somebody inside of me saying that she had 3 disabilities, you have only one. What a shame. What's wrong with you? You should go and die instead of like just sitting and crying like this. Move your backside, do something for your living. So I just got up from there and I said, oh my God, yes, I mean, if she could become a world famous person then, those times, wrong with me? I can't even live a happy life. So those are the things I always found one positive ray of hope in every negative situation. And even today, even now, if something worries me, sometimes we are worried about something which has not even happened or which may happen one day or may just happen any moment. And we worry ourselves sick and we are completely physically, mentally drained out. The moment my mind takes me to that worry, I just think of one thing. Let me see, okay, dekhi jayegi. When I have managed to do so much, people are all sort of suffering so much, and yet the world is going round. So,
Right.
kuch na kuch to ho hi jayega. Something will happen. Something I'll do. We'll see then. And most of the time, that worry never comes. It never happens.
No, I agree. I agree. There was this lady, because from whatever you spoke right now, it just took me back to Edith Eger's story. Have you heard of Edith Eger?
No, I
So
don't think
she
so.
is,
Even
I think she's a Hungarian Jew, and
okay.
she is the survivor of the Holocaust. And
Hmm.
she said that, she was in the prison for a very, very long time, for a long period. And she said that that was a prison that I was in, but that prison couldn't control my mind. And this
Ah.
and the sorry state of a lot of human beings is they're the prisoner of their mind. The biggest prison that we are in is the prison of our mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, there could have been so many reasons for you to say, and of course you had those reasons to say, that's it, I don't think
Mm.
this is me. But
Yeah,
you did not give in to those thoughts. You didn't want to
sure.
become a prison of that, and you said, let me create
Absolutely.
a life of my own, which is beautiful, which is free, which is mine.
Our mind also is conditioned to think in a certain way.
Hmm,
Um, World over, it's the same.
hmm,
We are never sure. We cannot. Um, in Hindi, Punjabi, we can say bharosa. We don't have faith in ourselves. We don't have faith in the universe. We don't have faith in what is. There's a power somewhere uh, that we all agree or not agree, but there's a power somewhere within us which is running our system,
hmm.
and we just don't want to have faith. No, 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 what will happen tomorrow if I don't grab this? No, no, what will happen tomorrow? This
Yeah.
happened tomorrow. No, nobody's bothered with me yesterday. No, nobody gave me a call. My kids didn't call me. My brother didn't call me. My mother didn't call me. We're all in that boat. Why should I not? So we
Right.
are wasting our time like that. We all
Hmm.
actually give shackles and shackles of our mind, which bring our powers away from us. You know?
Right. No, I
It
agree.
happens
I
to me
agree.
also at times. It happens to
Hmm.
me now also, and then I just wonder, now I know where to stop myself.
See, the beauty is to identify that something like this happens, to
Mm.
recognize it, and then we
Yes,
know how to resolve it, how
yeah,
to
true.
change it, how to mold it. But it so
Mm.
happens that we don't even know that something like this is happening to us, because
Mm.
A, we are not aware, B, nobody has explained to us. You know, so yeah. Preeti ma'am, you mentioned about your school days, and then you
Mm.
had to leave the school. In fact, you were
Mm.
asked to leave the school,
Yeah.
and you even tried to, after you were not going to school, you decided to pick up the sitar and learn the sitar, and you were practicing 8 to 9 hours a day, and you were so good
Yeah.
at it, and your
Yeah.
master also at that time discouraged you. Now what I
Mm.
want to know from you is, because you have been here for, you've seen the society evolve through your own life, and
Mm.
the way society looked at or approached disabilities in general
Yeah.
back in the
Mm.
days, and coming to them looking at disabilities today. I'm not
Mm.
saying that we have won the war and everything is good, and we're giving jobs to people with these disabilities, they're equal. No, there is still a lot of work to be done. There are still a lot of taboos surrounding us. But comparatively, do you think that today we are in better times and there are more opportunities and platforms to support people with disabilities? Do you think so?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I think when I was very little, till about I was 10, 12, 13, uh, things were not very bad against people with disabilities. The families looked after their own disabled children. Where I can, when I fall back and I notice that my teachers kept me in regular school without creating a fuss till class grade 8, which is quite a long, journey.
Hmm.
Um, I think the more awareness is coming, the more segregation is happening. You know, opportunities are there. Opportunities definitely are there. Think technology has made a huge difference in people with disabilities lives, but how many can access?
Hmm.
Uh, that is a question. Certainly, there are certain differences which have happened, certain very positive differences that are happening, but the attitude of the population, even today, I'm talking from my perspective because I have, had some uh, years of experience. Um, Acceptance, our
Hmm.
acceptance at on equal terms is not very much improved. No, because there are two ways to look at it. If you are if you're excellent, and this happens with the human beings, not get people with disabilities. If you're excellent, then you have not many friends left because you are excellent and they got left behind. And if you have a problem, if you if you're not excellent, then there's a lot of competition, and the same happens with us as well. But a disability becomes a disqualification that if five people have come for a job who have a disability, um, automatically at the back of the mind, why should we hire a person with a disability unless we are forced, or unless she is exceptional? And how is she going to prove herself except don't give her the chance?
Yeah.
So it's a very confusing question. I mean, I cannot say for the world over, but what I feel that the attitudes are still the same. We want to divide and rule. We want to. We feel that there is a lack in this world. So if this group also, people with disabilities also come into that same race, then I think rather make it a disqualification rather than anything else, or in a nice way that, oh, no, you let it be, we'll take care of you. How? So it's a very interesting question. I don't feel that there is uh, too much change on the attitudinal side, uh, but certainly technology systems have are there. People are making efforts, real efforts, to make life easier for people with disabilities, so we can participate equally. There are efforts being made, but lot to be done. Unless the mental attitudes become okay, acceptance becomes there, I don't think that we're going to go very far. That's what I feel.
I think there have been so many reasons for us to divide ourselves from each other, right?
Right. So
And
I don't know which
sometimes
one to point out.
exactly, and sometimes we don't
Huh.
even, if we don't even have a reason, still there's something that we will create. This is what I feel,
Haha.
be it
Yes,
nationality,
yes.
gender, color, your likings,
Yeah,
religion. Of course, religion is like a big, big, big thing.
it's
So
crazy. Absolutely crazy. Whole
yes,
division business is crazy.
right,
You've
right,
got a
right. No,
beautiful name to your program. We're all
you are
human.
human.
You're human. Of course, we are human, right?
Yes,
Good, bad,
yes.
ugly. We are all of that.
100%, 100%. Preeti ma'am, you are an established entrepreneur now. However, in one of your interviews, I did hear you mention that in your early years, because you wanted to be financially independent, you wanted to do something, of your life, and you're like, no, I'm going to take up work. And you actually sold pickles door to door. Now, that is very interesting. I'm sure that phase of your life must have taught you a lot. Is there
Yeah.
any lesson you from that period of yours, that has taught you something that you still implement in your current role?
Yes, of course. First of all, selling pickles for a blind woman in India, and especially from from an upper middle class family, I should say, not a rich family, but an upper middle class family, is unthinkable. Standing on the street selling pickles, going door to door, it is unthinkable. But that gave me the courage to break all boundaries. It still does. I can go up, speak with anyone. I mean, I'm not scared of rejection, because people would slam the door on my face, and I just come laughing away. So that has taught me so much. My world has become so wider.
Wow. I think a lot of our stopping in life, if you see a
Hmm,
lot of us who do not grow, is because, oh, but I have this degree. How can I take up this job? When you see
yeah,
during recession, when people are losing jobs left, right, and
yeah,
center, even now during
yeah, yeah.
COVID, it
Hmm,
wasn't a very good state. But I
no,
personally know so many people who did not take up a job because it was not good enough for them, or it is.
yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like sometimes we have to keep um i would I wouldn't just use the harsh term as ego, but sometimes it is that, honestly, it is our ego
yeah.
that comes in between and says, why should I do that, you know so we do
True.
not see a job as a job, but we add so much status and what title it is. So I think we sometimes get stuck up and sucked by
Absolutely,
these
absolutely.
things.
It's ego, I should say. More than the ego, the question is, what will people think? What will people say is the problem. you know if you're begging from your family, or your family is donating to you, or somebody else is looking, that's okay. keep your standards, taking from others, I would feel so, you know, so incompetent or so useless in life if I'm not able to earn my, you know, my little bit to at least sustain myself, forget other people.
Right.
So
Right.
when I know I can sustain myself, I'm so much more free to fly my own flight, and that's
Agree.
what I've been doing and taking all the risks. People tell me now how much this you have, how much that you have. You should go fight for this and fight for that. I said, there, why should I should only put my energies into good stuff that I enjoy doing and I like to do when I want to.
Yeah.
And everything else gets taken care of. And I want to say through this medium that believe you, believe in yourself, believe in your own hard work, believe in your own thoughts, and believe in yourself. You will never, never go without the stuff that you require in the world. It'll always be there. And how
100%. I
lovely you
always,
feel. You feel so
absolutely.
good.
Yes, we feel so good. And
Yeah.
this is what I always say, that when a small ant looks for food and finds the food,
Yeah.
if an ant is being looked after, then come on.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah. What are
definitely
we talking
definitely
about?
be looked after. Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Preeti ma'am, you are India's first visually impaired aerobics instructor. Now,
Mhm.
what got you interested into aerobics? And was there a moment when you questioned yourself for wanting to become an aerobics instructor? कभी वो thought आता है कि I want to do this. But then अंदर से दूसरा thought आता है कि are you sure you want to do this?
Okay. Okay. So, first of all, I had no choice. Okay. I had no choice. This was the only thing that was working for me. Starting from here, I want to go to the flashback that I needed to earn. I needed to become economically independent. I was only class 10 pass. I was a blind woman, a mother of two, suffering a bad marriage, really, really in a bad way off, and having failed at even committing suicide. That was the condition of my, at the moment, I'm smiling and talking about it, but at that time it was horrendous. And having to face so much and see my children suffer, they, at, the, I thought that if I'm going to live, I have to live well. And if I want to live well, I want to my children to at least respect me and not feel ashamed of themselves. And also for myself, that if I don't want to be ashamed of myself, right, I need to become economically independent. So what can I do? What should I do? What did I know? What were the skills I had? I was a good homemaker, so I could have become a housemaid, but nobody wanted a blind housemaid. Okay. What else I could do? I was bringing up children. Nobody would trust their children with me. I even thought of opening a creche. So like that, I thought many, many, many other things. And the other little entrepreneurial activities that I thought of was opening my own beauty parlor. But I was again dependent on others who would again blackmail me at one point or the other. They would want to rule my life because I cannot do most of the things. I would just be sitting there and hoping things are going well. So, and plus, on the other hand, when I was a foodie all my life and I was overweight, and so my mother used to keep telling me, exercise, become slim. So exercise had become a part of my life always. And when aerobics came to India in 1986, 80, yeah, around 86, 87, Veena Merchant from the US, she had come to India and she started a Keep Fit show on Doordarshan. And I used to stand in front of the TV and, with her audio description, I would try to follow. And whatever I couldn't follow, I could call somebody in the house and say, okay, am I doing the right movement? That gave me the idea that if I cannot even see that TV and I'm standing in front of the TV and working out. So if I become a live aerobic instructor, I run live classes, probably cannot see my clients, but my audio description and my physical description would be so good, then I'm sure people would come to my classes as well. So that gave me this brilliant idea. And it took me quite a lot to convince Mrs. Merchant to teach me. In fact, I had to sit in her office for 3 hours before she said, okay, come tomorrow. And when I went there, this was her greeting. I just said, good morning. You're there. I can never forget that day. And I had full classes. I mean, even some of my students, I'm even in touch with them now as well,
Wow.
after years and years of this thing. So I think there was never a negative thing that I wanted to do something else. Yes, I would have loved to be a CEO of a company, but I was not qualified. But today I am a CEO of my own Silver Linings.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dreams come true. Yeah.
They do 100%. If you work, first you have to dream, and then you have to work towards your dream, and it will definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. And
Preeti
accept
ma'am.
the result and look for your answer. Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yes.
Yes. No. Please don't be sorry. You were in the floor, so
No.
that's amazing. Yeah. So I have come across a lot of men, women with low esteem, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. So, and there have been times even in my own life, where I feel like this, I'm not worth it. I cannot do this. I want to ask you something which I think a lot of us have gone through this, and it would be a very interesting question for a lot of my listeners. So, on behalf of all those who have low self esteem and low confidence, and sometimes even those who are confident still cannot do what you have done, it is so difficult, to approach someone we are interested in, someone we like. It is like, oh, how do I say this? How do I say that? Um, you were divorced. You already had you had two children, and one of them, if I'm not wrong, was already a teenager. And you were 39 years of age, and
I was 37.
37.
Around 37.
Okay.
Yeah, 36, 37.
36, 37 you were,
Uh,
and
uh,
you were working at a place where you met this amazing man, and you thought this could be my life partner. So even after your divorce, after a very bad, failed, abusive marriage, you filed for divorce, you were separated, you were raising both your children on your own. Still, you had this desire that I want to be with somebody. And when you identified a person who could be a potential prospect, to become your partner, he was 10 years younger than you.
yeah.
So you are a single mother of two children, already divorced. Nothing big deal about it, but it could play a role with our mind. It could trick us, saying like, no, don't do this. Look, you have so many baggages, but nothing stopped you, and you proposed to a guy 10 years younger to you. Now, I want to know first with aerobics. Now, what were you thinking, ma'am?
Okay. So, plain and simple, I was thinking that I have only one life to live. And girl, woman, I'm going to live it well, right? Let the people say what they want to, because that is a very big inhibition in our lives. Let whatever come, let whatever happen. But if I don't try to, live my life in the way that I want to be free, to be independent, to be loved, to be friendly with somebody who. So when I decided that I want to live my life queen size, the way I want to live, to have the right kind of life partner, and to be free, and to really get on with it. And if I don't get on with it, I will never reach my own goal. If I'm going to just take that he's 10 years younger to me, it is he's never been married in all his life. He was only 27 at that time. I was practically reaching 37. So if I was going to focus on those things, it wouldn't work. So I just thought that there has been a mistake. He has mistaken me. That that gave me that idea. He mistaken my affection towards him as a pass. So I thought, oh, wow, then this works, this will work. So I might as well, now put the full hammer down and just ask him that, would you like to marry me,
Yeah.
So because on the other side, what I was seeing, either I marry him and get a rejection from him, doesn't matter, I'll find somebody else maybe, but the rejection seemed to be smaller. And if he married me also, the problems that we would face seemed smaller than the bigger problem that faced me, that I would have been a divorcee, a blind woman, and getting older and going to be a burden on top of my children. I mean, can I not ever think of giving them the freedom of living their own lives without worrying about this poor mother? I'd rather, that was the gift that I wanted to give my children, of freedom, of joy, of peace, that their mom's looked after and she's taken care of herself and there is somebody in her life. And that's exactly, that drove me to this. And well, it took 22 days and I was persistent. Morning and evening, I would ask him, I say, have you decided? Have you decided? So finally he did. And the most beautiful thing that he did was, he said that we'll not have any more children because I don't think that I would want, now these two are children, to even feel that they have a third child who the parents would now love more, So I think that's a fantastic thing. And especially in a place like India, I mean, I think I was at the right door.
Yeah.
So that was how it went. And he had to run away from home to marry me.
Oh, wow. He had to run away to marry you. That is brilliant. And you have been married for over 25 years. Am I right?
Yeah. And our whole family, his family, everybody, we're all together now. I mean, we are all on good terms. So all is well.
How long did it take after him running away to get married to you? How long did it take for the family to be together and to accept your relationship?
Well, it didn't take more than a month or 2 months.
Oh.
After that, when they accepted their eldest son, who they had a lot of hope in, went along and married me, I mean, I also did something terrible. I mean, I shouldn't have done that. But I think they accepted it. And well, they treat me like everybody else, so I'm a part of the family now.
That's beautiful.
I mean, I've been for a very long time.
Yeah. 25 years. It's like forever. So that's amazing.
Yeah, forever.
And he's such a beautiful man. The point that you said that he said like, we'll not have any more children. That is just so beautiful, so thoughtful.
Yeah,
so I think both of you are such amazing souls and beings. And I think like, God did 100% choose the two of you for each other, and God bless you. Yeah. God bless you guys. That's amazing. So I think it's about having your why in place, that why I want to do this, and staying persistent. And I think if your why is aligned to your goal in life and aligned to the humanitarian values as well, because it was a bigger picture. It wasn't like, oh, because I want this person, so I so this should happen. But you had a bigger goal, bigger reason for asking someone to marry you, and then staying persistent. I think that's what made it happen. So thank you.
And to make it work, I think we have to make a relationship work. In fact, we have to make everything work, even if it's small or big. And I see that so many of us are not doing, especially blind girls and women are so much more marginalized. Hence, I took to, doing a little bit of my giving, my life now to helping develop some visually impaired girls into dignified people. So let's see. Let me give away also something that I have got.
No, absolutely. And I'm sure a lot of us can get to learn from you, and definitely you're paving the way for, other visually impaired girls and other people in general as well. I don't want to just define it for them, because from your story, I have got to learn so much. So I think, it is.
That's good.
No,
even I have learned a lot from you.
See, that's how life is. It's all about give and take, and there is so much to learn from each and every person, around us. So, your your social work that you do. You said you're a social entrepreneur, and your non-profit organization is called Silver Lining. And even, you quote also saying that it's only you who possesses the power to focus on the silver lining that is behind every cloud, that comes your way. That's something you always say. Now, I want to ask you honestly, today there is so much talk about toxic positivity. Stay positive. There's good behind every bad that happens to you, blah 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 blah. And a lot of time people, they give up. They say, please, I don't want to hear all of this. My life is going through hell. It is going through hell, so let's accept that. So I want to ask you, like, do you think that, do you 100% believe is one, but then do you say that there is a silver lining to everything that happens, like from your own life's experiences?
Yeah. I not only believe, I see it happen every moment, every throughout my now 63 plus years. I have seen that whatever things, a lot of negative has happened in my life, but there is never a coin without two sides. There are always two sides to everything. So every negative story, if you're going through hell, you're hurting and paining, you've broken your leg, of course you can't say ha ha ha, I've broken my leg. Okay, it's hurting, damn thing, it's in a plaster, I'm stuck. Okay, so cry about it, crib about it. But do you think for the next 3 months you're going to cry and crib about your leg? Okay, you take a painkiller, okay, that's done with. Okay, the pain is happening, but the rest of you is working. So let's at least enjoy eating. Let's at least enjoy what we can do. So it's where we take our focus. Do we ever take our focus to something else? And if we can learn to take the focus to one small positive thing that is there, which is that I'm still alive, or today also I can do this, or I have this one thing. If somebody has lost their their soulmate, it's such a terrible thing. It's really bad. I mean, you can't say that's ha ha ha, it's good fun. No, it's not. It's very, very devastating. There's no words to express that. But then you can't, either you die with your soulmate, which most of us can't do. Okay, and if you see, there's another thing. There's also social pressure. You're supposed to be sad after your soulmate is dead. Yes, we are sad for the loss, but do you think that we can still kindle our lives to kindle the world around us? Can we do something nice to make ourselves bear the pain, slowly get away from the pain, because time does heal pains, and you may create something beautiful. May find that opportunity. It's very hard to do this, to find that one little positive thing, and just focus on that and stop worrying about what the world is saying. Because till we are alive here in this world, what is the point? We cannot choose when we are going to come or when we are going to go. That unfortunately destiny has still a power on it. So whatever time we are here, I believe in this, that what is there, we need to accept, acknowledge. I completely believe, and then walk forward from there on. You can't become a dead burden to yourself, and then the dead burden to another person, people who are still around. So it's very, very important to find that one little ray of hope. That silver linings is always there, and once you cling on to that, you see slowly and steadily there are new horizons that come up. Everything changes. Change is the only thing that is constant. So if you accept the change, it's very tough to do this, but I'm sitting here doing this all the time. I was very, very sick about 6-7 months back. I still have an autoimmune disorder. My treatment is still going on, but I was really, really very sick. And my daughter, she took one look at me. She said, "Mommy, you're a fighter. You'll make it." And I said, "Huh?" Yeah. Yeah. So somehow those things also rub on to other people. Your family, people around you. So I think it's very, what's the point of living for the next, 20 years, 10 years, whatever, anybody has left, or a whole lifetime. by just harping that your life is bad. Yeah, we know all of us are having challenges. We are having constant challenges, and challenges will never go away. Let me tell you, they're the only driving force. Otherwise, we would all lie in bed and do nothing.
No, I agree. 100%. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That one positive thing we need to practice to find in our every moment. And you make
And I'm sure, and there are, like.
Oh yes, yeah, there are. We don't want to look at them because then we have to pay the price. The price is hard work. The
Hard
price
work.
is discipline. The price is you have to move. If I find, and I tell Jagruti, the world is coming, to an end. The whole thing is so bad. So then I can just sit and wait for it to come to an end. Then I have excused myself. But if I say no, I must do something for helping myself at least and a few around me, then I have to work.
Yeah.
Which is very difficult. People don't want to do that.
I agree. We're just becoming so lazy, 100% so lazy. So, because of what you talked about, there is positivity and good things do come your way. So in India, it is very, very common. So, people wear different kind of stones. And if somebody has a problem, and then people believe in astrology, and they go to people with all due respect, if anybody believes in it, great. So there are people who'll get a stone. And I remember when I was in college, the person is like, this Babaji has given me the stone, and now everything good is going to happen. And this person, they wore the ring, and they were like, today there were 5 good things that happened, and all thanks to the ring. And I actually looked at them and I said, but without the ring also, if you sit and notice, there are good things that do happen to you. And then they were like, actually, yeah. I was like, the only effect or the only change that the ring has brought in you is that now you're paying attention. You're acknowledging. Yeah. You're taking consideration of the positive and the good that is coming your way. Before this, you were not noticing it. But now the only thing is you're noticing it. So yeah, it just reminded me of this early year conversation when I was in college. I was just speaking to somebody.
True.
Preeti,
very true. Yeah, sure.
Preeti ma'am, I want to know that how can we as a society support all those with disabilities, in our own small ways, because you said that, things haven't changed a lot. It's somewhere still the same. So how can we, anybody, from their side, do their due diligence? How can we create a more equal and more inclusive society? Today everybody's talking about equality, being inclusive. How can we, like me as Jagruti, on my own way, or somebody who's listening to this show or this conversation, maybe they're not on social media, maybe they're not, they're not in positions to make these laws or change things, and maybe we're not in that capacity, but in our own small ways,
of course,
wherever we are in our capacity, what would you like to share? Any tips that we could follow?
Yeah, very, 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 very simple tip is just be friends. You are human, and so are disabled people as well. So how about just developing a friendship instead of looking down? How about being a good friend to a person with a disability? That's it. I mean, rest of it follows. You're good. You have contributed everything the moment you have made somebody who has a disability a friend. And once you're a friend, I don't think I need to describe friendship. You just have to be friendly, and things work out.
Yes.
Look beyond the disability. Just look beyond that disability. There's that human there. That's only what you need to do. And I think each one for one, I don't think there's so many disabled people in this world. If we just can do that little bit and say, hey, come on, let's go shopping today, somebody just comes to my door, my friend just comes to my door and say, hey, come on, let's go shopping. No, you come, get dressed, put on your shoes, let's go shopping. Let's have coffee. And then sitting at the table, if I don't know where my coffee, I can't read my menu card. Okay, the this is latte, this is more. What do you want? That's all. Yeah. I think you're included then.
Yes.
I don't think you'd have to do much. It's not rocket science.
It's so simple. It's so simple. The way you said, you just have to be their friend and just, yeah, just see them. Most of the times we don't even look at them,
No, even if we
That's
look at them, we look at them,
with,
someone
with
else.
and with the
With,
sympathy and with being like, oh, look at,
yeah,
Mhm.
a poor thing, they'll cry if we talk to them. No. When a disabled child, unfortunately or fortunately, is born into a family, the family doesn't go to school to learn how to be inclusive. They just love the child.
Yeah,
And the
beautiful.
child is included into the family. So why can't we all do it? That's all that needs to be done. And for our friends, we do everything. And they also do everything for you. If you do something for me, I'm sure I can do something that you can't do. And it's an equal give and take. So it's as simple as that.
That is so simple. And thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Preeti ma'am. I mean, having this conversation with you, I think I could just go on and on and on, but we do have a time constraint. Not really a constraint, but yeah, we have to be in a we have to look at
Yes,
the time that we are utilizing.
so.
And I'm sure you
Yeah,
are also
sure.
busy and you have so much more going on. And thank you so much for this opportunity. But as a sign off, what is it that you would like to say to me and to everybody who's listening or watching? What is it that you would like to say to all of us? It could be a message, it could be a tip, it could be a reminder, anything.
Yeah, I think what I would like to say that we all need to stop for a moment. Today is the only day we have. This is the only life we have. It's our own choice how we want to live it. Because finally, our own actions are the ones that decide who we are and in which situation we are. So we are totally responsible for our situation, our happiness, our whatever. We need to take 100% responsibility. So remember, it's only one life, live it well. There won't be another chance. At least I don't know of one.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you. And ma'am, even my show, when I do a sign off, I always say that our time is limited. So let's make the most of it. So thank you. Thank you so much. Like, it is so aligned to, what is the philosophy of You Are Human. And I'm so glad that our philosophies are aligned.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. I extremely enjoyed doing this podcast with you. And thank you once again. And take care of yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the handle of Preeti ma'am's account and Silver Lining website. So if anybody who's interested to check out the kind of work Silver Lining is doing, what Preeti ma'am is doing, the kind of services that they're providing, and anybody who would like to contribute in either if you want to volunteer, if you want to support financially with your time, with anything, if you have great ideas how she can get better, how Silver Lining can do better and reach out to more people, please just check out the link. I will put it in the description below. And please, it'll be my pleasure if you can connect with Preeti ma'am and do wonders together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am. This was amazing. Bye. I'm so glad that we did. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If it has inspired you, even slightly, then please like, share, and comment. See you in the next one. Until then, remember, our time is limited. Let's make the most of it. Keep watching You Are Human on YouTube and listen to these amazing conversations on Spotify and other audio platforms.